Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video on makeup. We're going to be using the Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette and a few of his other products. I thought what I would go with kind of a sparkly eye today. We're going to be going in with some of the Blood Queen, Pink Magic, Take the Crown, and probably a few more. So I've already moisturized my face and washed it, all that stuff, and I'm gonna prime my face with the Becca Blacklight primer, which is my favorite. I've been using it for a while now, and I'm using just a regular foundation brush. I like to apply my primers with. I don't like to use my fingers because then it just makes my face oily. Okay, so now that I have that on, I usually just like let that dry, and I usually do my eyes first. I'm an eyes first person. I don't really like to do my eyes and my foundation till after. So I'm gonna prime my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, just in the original formula. Okay, so now that we did that, I'm going to be taking the Bloodlust palette and my I like my MAC, I think it's the 217S brush, and I'm going to go in with Blood Queen, which is this dark purple color here. I am going to use that in the crease. I know it's technically not a crease brush, but I find with my eye shape that if I use a crease brush to initially put down the color, it doesn't always work out for me. I have a wider set almond shaped eyes, and they are downturned, so I have a pretty big and wide eyelid. So I'm just using that in like a circular motion and then going windshield wiper. I'm kind of gonna do a cut crease look today. I typically don't go for too many neutral looks. I mean, I do neutral looks like bridal and all that kind of stuff. And I'll usually do that, but I'm a pretty bold person when it comes to my makeup. So we're gonna be going with this today. Okay. So now that I have that, I'm actually going to take a Jeffree Star Morphe JS9 brush and go in with the color Vivid Moon, which is that medium purpley color. I'm just kind of tapping lightly. You don't really have to use a ton with these shades. I love Jeffree's makeup because his eye palettes and his formulas are just amazing. And I'm just kind of like putting that, blending it with and a little bit above the color that I already have placed. I kind of like to take another smaller mirror because it's a better way to see exactly what you're doing. I like to be close up when I'm doing my eyes. So you can see that kind of like diffused it out a little bit, made it a little bit shaded up above that. And I guess I'm going a little bit backwards, but that's kind of how I work. So I'm going to take a little bit of a shader brush with the JS6, and I'm going to go in with Your Majesty, which is just a white color. And I'm going to go right under the eyebrow. Excuse my eyebrows. It's been in about a month and a half since I've done them because hello quarantine, here we are. So I'm just gonna put that there. And then after that, I'm actually going to take the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Cream concealer, and then I'm going to use that on my eye that I haven't colored in, shaded in, and cut that portion of the crease out. I'm going to take a little brush for that. This is just kind of like a detail concealer brush. That way it gets right into the inner corner as well as much of the lid that you want to go over with the concealer. I'm doing most of it about 3/4. I like to leave it smoked out a little bit on the ends when I do this. I typically like to do that because it kind of gives it a pop, especially with the colors in this palette. But I always use colors, so that's different. Okay, so I'm going to go in, where is my shading brush? With my flat JS10 brush, and I am going to use the color Pink Magic. It's this really pretty wet, like glitter color. This is actually one of my favorite colors in the palette. I am going to just place it. I'm not even really like shading it in, I'm just kind of like placing it. Actually, with this color, sometimes it's best if you use your finger, and my nails are off because hello quarantine. So we're just gonna go in with our finger because we can. I'm not going all the way because I am gonna put another color. This one has kind of like almost like a goldishy reflex to it as well. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up that first brush that I used, the MAC 217, and just kind of like go over this area here a little bit just to make sure everything's blended out. And then I'm also going to take a JS6 brush, and I'm going to go in with the color Deviant, which is this white purpley color. And I'm just gonna put that like right in here. It's gonna make for a more like diffused look, because his colors can be really bold. So if you're not used to something like that, you're definitely gonna want to diffuse it out a little bit, and using the lighter colors will help with that. So for the lash shade, well, not lash shade, but one of the lash shades I'm gonna use is the Wet Jewel shade there. It's gonna go right in my inner corner. I like to use like little brushes like this for that. But let's see, I have a smaller one, yeah. This one is the JS13 by Morphe. And I'm just gonna load my brush up with the Wet Jewel. I'm gonna take my Becca Skin Love as well, I'm just going to kind of wet it because this color is light. So sometimes with this new formula, it's so sparkly that it doesn't really stick to your eye as well as his normal formula. Because I think these are actually pressed pigments. And, you know, with pressed pigments, you can't always just put them directly on your eye. A lot of times they have to be wet. But when you do put them on, you usually get a really great look. I know some people have like said that they don't really love his makeup in this palette with the new formula, but I think that might be the problem. I also love the color story because purple is my favorite color, and I think that all the colors in here really like go together very well. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to go back in with just like one of the brushes that I use the Deviant with, and I'm just gonna go right back in over all of that and like crease right there. And just kind of, we're just kind of like making that definition between the crease that I cut out and what is left. Okay, so now that you have that, we're going to take the a little like liner, an eyebrow brush. I like to like angled brushes when I do my under eye because I get lost sometimes with the control if I don't. Sometimes when you use too fluffy ones, it makes too much fallout. So actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna go right back with the glitter shades, and I'm going to wrap that around my eye. So I'm taking the Blood Queen again right under my eye, and I'm going to make sure it's as close to the waterline as possible so that I can have it look really like sharp. And I'm going about halfway with that. Then I'm going to take another one of these because I have two, and I'm going to take the Becca Skin Love again, and I'm gonna spray that one, and I'm gonna go in with the Pink Magic color, which was the pink, bright pink one that we did. You can tell that already the Wet Jewel color is already in the inner corner right there because I kind of wrapped it in when I placed it. Okay, so now it should look like that. What I'm gonna do now is I'll wait to do my eyeliner and mascara until I do my foundation. So for my foundation, I use the Becca Skin Love Weightless Blur Foundation in the shade Linen. I am pale as hell, so we always use that. I use my JS1 Morphe Star brush because I don't really use full coverage. I find when I use full coverage foundation that I break out a lot, so I tend to not use it as much. And I like this brush because it really does give it like a full like coverage effect. Make sure you go down on your under your chin and all that, blend it into your neck. Don't really have that problem because again, I'm literally the first shade no matter what, except I do have more pink undertones in my skin, so it's either 1 or 2. This is actually shade, I think, the first shade that they even offer. I do love the Becca Cosmetic line for their skincare products. I use a lot of their products, as you can tell. So now that I put the foundation, I always set my foundation with the Becca Hydra Mist powder. Surprise. I am, before I do that, though, going to go in with my Becca concealer that I put under my eyes before. And I'm just going to put it a little bit here. And I'm going to use, actually, the same brush I used for my foundation. I know it looks big, but that's because I'm not done. So we do that, and then I have another palette by Becca. This is my favorite because I do get like black under eyes, and it's called the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, and it is in shade light to medium, and it literally makes you look like you slept when you didn't. Probably my favorite thing about it, because my sleep schedule, especially now, is horrible. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that on my finger. You really don't need this. I've had this one for like a year and I haven't even hit pan yet. So I actually bought it for my wedding in September, but I bought it in like probably July I bought it, and I've been using it since last July, and it's still really full. So now that I did that, then I will take my big fluffy powder brush. This one is just one of those, I think this one's from Ulta. It's just a really big fluffy powder brush, but it's a little bit denser. And I just put it all over. I need to set my foundation no matter what, even though I technically probably don't have to because it isn't a full coverage. It's just like it's more honestly like a tinted moisturizer, I feel like this foundation is, but it also is buildable, so it does work if you build it up. So I'm gonna just powder, and then that's good. I like this because it's actually like when you put it on the brush, it turns wet, and then like when you put it on your face, it's not anymore. I don't know how that happens, but that's how it seems to work. So after I do that, then I usually go in with my NARS. I've had this since high school. I know it's probably expired. Orgasm Laguna Bronzer duo. And I use the Orgasm blush, but I don't really use the bronzer. So I take a bigger brush for this. And I'm really pale, so, you know, we don't need a ton of blush. I also have a little bit of rosacea, so we don't need to go crazy there. So I got that. I always taper it up a little bit. Sometimes I put some on my nose. And then for bronzer, I honestly lately have been using the Conspiracy palette and just dipping into shade Tanacon with my like defining brush, and Tanacon is that like color. Like I said, I'm really pale, so I kind of just like tap it off on the side a little bit and just do that with my face. I always go up. You don't want to drag down. It'll create harsh lines, blah blah. So we're gonna do that. I use the same shade on my nose. I'm Italian. I have a big nose. Nothing's hiding my nose. And I just kind of like put it everywhere, you know, around where do this C shaping, all that stuff. So I do that till I'm satisfied. Then I take this really big powder brush and I just kind of like diffuse everything together. It never has anything on it. It's always clear because I don't use this for really anything except for blending everything together. Okay, and then now that I've done that, I'm going to do my liner, and I don't want this one. I want this one. Maybe, yeah. Can't one has a smaller tip than the other. This one is a Sephora eyeliner in waterproof, and it's in black. Oh, done. There's no shade on it. I go through these all the time. I feel like their eyeliner is really good for the price point, and I think it's like 12 bucks, and it lasts me like about 8 months. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this really close here. I'm horrible at doing this on camera, so don't mind if you can't see me. Okay, so I just kind of did the line. I'm just going to do a little kitten wing. And we love when our eyeliner cooperates because it never does. Okay, so that's my wing, and then I'm gonna go with my Better Than Sex Too Faced mascara. It is my favorite mascara. I have really long lashes, so I tend to only use lashes if I feel like it. I'm not gonna put them on because I'm not going anywhere since we're in quarantine, and I spend a lot of money on lashes, so just for the sake of saving lashes, we're not gonna do it. Plus I can make myself look like I have false lashes on with this mascara. I don't know if anybody ever told you this, but if you take the mascara backwards, like the one backwards, and curl it, and then go back up, makes your lashes look thicker. So a lot of people need to curl their lashes. My lashes are already really curly. I have curly hair, so that's probably why. I typically never curl my lashes. I don't even think I own an eyelash curler. I did. Don't know where it went. It's kind of like the tweezers. It's like, where did they go? They disappeared. So again, I'm gonna take the bottom of my lashes by the bottom, and I'm gonna coat them with mascara, and then I'm gonna flip them back up and make it look like, and then I will line my waterline, and then I will I'm using just the same Sephora brand black, except it's a twirly liner. Like, I guess you could call it a kohl liner. It's just you don't have to sharpen it. And I'll put that there on my eyes produce a lot of water, so sometimes it doesn't work that way. It's good enough. So we're doing that. Now that we did that, you can see my lashes. They're pretty long. I don't know if you can see like close up how they feel. I mean, they look I'm crazy. Okay, and then for highlighter, I use my favorite. This one is Jeffree Star's Choking on Ice Extreme Frost. I absolutely am obsessed with Jeffree Star, if you haven't figured that out by now. But I have an obsession with his highlighters. I think I own pretty much like 20 of his highlighters. So we're gonna use this one. It went with the Bloodlust collection, and this is one of my favorites. Typically I use my finger just to do it because it's very pigmented. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen his highlighters, but there's a swatch on my hand. They are absolutely blinding when you put them on. So we're gonna just take it on my finger, and I'm just gonna dab it up, and you can pretty much see this is like a purple shade because it went with the Bloodlust collection, which is purple themed. We're going back on this one, and you can kind of concentrate it wherever you want. You can put it wherever you want. But right now, yeah, I like to make it so you can, this sky can see you from wherever you are. And then sometimes I put a little bit like on my nose here, but a little less than I do on my face. And then I'll do like my cheek and whatever. But you don't want to do too much because that's really like the star showstopper there. For my lipstick, I'm going to use from his Bloodlust collection his I like the shade Vulgar and Royal Armor. They are really, really cute. So this one, these are his Velour Velvet liquid lipsticks if you've never used them before. I know people are probably, why don't you do a less vibrant lip? Well, I don't do less vibrant anything. This shade was called Vulgar, and then this one is Royal Armor. And I've been into the like ombre lip lately, especially with his, because they go so well. So I'm gonna put a little of Royal Armor right there to make it a little bit lighter in the middle. And there you have it. That is my look with mostly Jeffree Star products. I always set my face with the Becca Skin Love Glow Shield Prime and Set Mist. This is my favorite stuff. If you don't live in it, it's not gonna stay. I mean, his stuff will stay, but some of the other stuff won't. Subscribe, hit the little notification bell in the bottom to get all the notifications for my video, and I hope I will see you in the next video. Thank you.